Hi, I'm Chris Waters in the College of Medicine. As I was growing up, I can remember I always wanted to know how things worked. I wanted to figure things out. As an undergraduate, I was studying chemical engineering, and one of the chemistry professors that I had invited me to do research with him in his lab during the summer. And then when I went to graduate school, I decided I wanted to focus more on biomedical research, and so I majored in biomedical engineering, and that's where it sort of really took off to the kind of work that I do now. In my lab, we focus on a disease called Acute Respiratory Distress Syndrome, or ARDS. ARDS can be caused by many different things, so severe infections like pneumonia, influenza, other types of infection, smoke inhalation, things like this can lead to this more severe form of acute lung injury. And so our lab focuses on aspects of the oxygen and the mechanical ventilation, which, although necessary and life-saving, can lead to additional injury if not done properly. Mechanically ventilating a patient with what are called lung protective ventilation strategies are absolutely essential. Mortality for ARDS is very high. Somewhere around 40% of the patients die. Making a simple change in how the ventilator is set by lowering tidal volumes made a huge impact on mortality in these patients. So tidal volume is in a single breath, how much goes in and how much goes out. So we want to minimize how much volume is going in each breath. We do know something about how that affects survival, but we don't know the mechanisms. We don't know exactly how lowering tidal volumes led to this improvement in outcomes for the patients. We focus on the mechanical forces and mechanical stretching that occurs in the lungs, as well as how high levels of oxygen, which we normally aren't exposed to, can affect these processes. Because of my engineering background, I started thinking about what was happening in the lungs. You know, if you think about a wound on your skin that has to heal, that healing process occurs on a substrate that's not moving. But if you think about what's happening in the lungs when they're repairing, it's on a substrate that's constantly stretching. So we can isolate cells from the mice or from rats, grow them in culture, and in order to study this process, we have a chamber where we can expose the cells to high concentrations of oxygen, and we also have a device that allows us to grow the cells on an elastic membrane, and then a vacuum pulls the membrane down and then releases it, and pulls it down and releases it to simulate what's happening in a lung during a breathing cycle. And so we can grow the cells on that membrane, stimulate those cells with some infectious agent, and then we can monitor the repair mechanisms or the inflammation mechanisms. Anytime that I have mentored students or junior faculty, and as I watch them sort of develop and learn how to do research they didn't know how to do before, and then have success, those are certainly some of the most satisfying moments for me. I very much enjoy interacting with the people in the lab, going over data, designing experiments, discussing the results. That's what I enjoy the most. Also interacting with colleagues around the world, literally. My wife, who also just joined, we came here together in December. She was interested in a position here, and so I started looking as well, and since we've gotten here, it's just been wonderful. We've been welcomed and supported. You know, you've got everything on one campus. It's not just the College of Medicine, it's all the other professional schools, all the undergraduate schools, and you've got students everywhere. It makes the environment more vibrant, and I enjoy that. I love being around students. It's a great environment here. The UK is really on the upswing in terms of research. There are just so many things going on. Buildings are being built. There's a lot of activity, not just biomedical research. I'm actually collaborating with someone in mechanical engineering. There are people in chemistry that I've been interacting with. You can really interact with people because everybody's close by, everything's in close proximity.